Welcome, NoDQ Galaxy, and we're back with a brand new NoDQ review, and we're at number 60. And I am Virtue, being joined by the elite team of NoDQ, Aaron Rift, TJS, Big G, and of course myself. What's up, everybody? Aaron, I'll start with you. How you enjoying the new place, the new surroundings, the new state?
What? I'm still in Portland, or am I? I might be in Portland. I might be in New Jersey. I might be in California. You don't know where I am. I could be anywhere. But I'm doing well. Things are going good. I'm enjoying late spring. I'm looking forward to the summer. I'm looking forward to Toronto, meeting up with everybody for SummerSlam. I heard you and Cindy aren't quite getting along right now. What's up with that?
I have no clue. I mean, there's reality and then there's fiction, and I don't know what she's believing. On video, on chat, online, it's Virtue 24/7. Wait, what? What's up? What's up, TJS?
Oh my God. WWE is just taking the energy out of me, man. It's gotten so bad that I just don't even want to watch it anymore. And I feel like the only reason I watch is so I can appear on these videos, man. Seriously. Oh, man. I can't wait to talk about it. I don't want to get ahead of myself. But
we're going to have some good stuff to talk about like we always do. Hey, Big G, what's going on? Look at that hat. Is that Mario with the fireballs?
It sure is. Retro Mario, 1985 Super Mario came out. Yeah. Doing pretty good. It's been a week after my accident. Still doing good. Playing some Nintendo Switch now. Bought Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, getting into that. While having SmackDown on in the background. That's the background noise right now. So, other than that, let's get right into it, Virtue.
Let's get started. So Super Showdown was Friday, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't watch it. I skimmed through it. I didn't even have a desire to watch it because I know a house show, a glorified house show in a stadium in another country when I see it. And, of course, watching highlights from it, Taker Goldberg, oh my goodness. And this is why Chris Jericho is so good. He's up there. He's a little bit younger than them. And yes, he's not the Jericho that he used to be, right? He's a little bit slower, but he still can make a match look very solid. These guys can't. And I don't know if they're mailing it in for the check or what, but I want everybody's thoughts on Super Showdown, if you even have any. Specifically, Taker Goldberg and some comments that, slam the nation because of this match. TJS, I'm going to start with you.
Oh, jeez, man. I mean, you look at that jackhammer that Goldberg hit, and I'm not even going to call it the jackhammer. To me, it's the whack hammer because that thing was just awful. I just can't believe that. And you're right, Virtue. It was a glorified house show because it wasn't worth watching. It wasn't WrestleMania equivalent. The best thing about this was the pyro, if you ask me. It had cool fireworks. That's it. And as far as Taker Goldberg, you had the botched jackhammer, and then you had Goldberg going for a tombstone, only for him to botch that. And then he said that he knocked himself out on the ring post. Whatever, man. Like, how many times can we see these two old timers going out there and doing their thing? I feel like for the next Saudi show, it's going to be Bob Backlund versus Undertaker. And Bob Backlund's actually in good shape, so maybe that'll be a good match. Hell.
You can tell they mail it in when they go. I mean, first of all, yeah, they probably all have jet lag. But on top of that, they're mailing it in. I mean, most performers just don't look like they even care.
Yeah, and people are like, oh, I want Undertaker versus Finn Balor. Can you imagine Undertaker trying to keep up with Finn in the ring? Good God. But it wasn't a good show, and it's just sad to see these guys like this. It's like Aaron says all the time. It's like your old favorite rock band getting back together, doing the reunion tour, and
Whoa. Old rock bands. Some of these guys can still rock out. All right. I'm going to go see Kiss in August, and they're still rocking it till this day.
Hey, yeah, I guess I can't think of any. I guess it's like the Eagles reuniting. Yeah, I think or the Beatles. Two of the Beatles are dead, and they could still put on a better performance than Taker and Goldberg did. I feel like. But yeah, I feel like Undertaker needs to hang it up already. Let somebody retire this guy. I mean, you saw that he liked the Instagram comment of the guy being critical of the match, but it's Undertaker's choice to go over there. He wants to make that money. And there's people out there like Daniel Bryan, John Cena, Aleister Black. Those kind of guys are like, you know what? I have morals, so I'm not even going to do it. I don't care how much money you put in
It's
front
greed.
of me.
It's greed. The whole company, I mean, they have to get that cash. They want to keep that contract.
Green's the color of shit, and I guess that's appropriate right now, man.
All right, Big G, what do you think? I think the only way WWE stops going to Saudi Arabia is if the U.S. puts travel ban there like we have on some countries like Iran and Syria and places like that. What do you think of this whole debacle here?
Well, I did watch it because I was home, resting up from my accident. And, I got to agree with TJS. It wasn't all that great. For me, the only match I really did like, it was Triple H versus Randy Orton. Because I'm always a Triple H guy, so I'm always going to like his matches. And Randy Orton, he's good as well. Now, Taker and Goldberg, these are two men who are in their 50s wrestling in 100-degree weather. And then Goldberg concusses himself by hitting the turnbuckle. And then you have them pretty much botch the rest of the match.
It was like two big bags of wet sand.
Vince said he wanted that match to be like 20 minutes, but he called it short. So they had that ugly choke slam, and that was it. And then you had Matt Riddle call out Goldberg on Twitter, and he said some things about Goldberg, and he called Undertaker like a stallion or whatever, and that was pretty much it with that. So
see, I think Riddle knew what to say there because if he criticizes Goldberg, Vince, they're not going to yell at him for that because Goldberg's a WCW guy. Yeah. And he praised The Undertaker, the WWE guy. So Riddle calculated. He knew exactly what he was saying there. Aaron, what's your thoughts on Super Showdown, Taker, Goldberg, Riddle's comments?
Well, I found Riddle's comments to be really interesting. He's been trying to get people's attention. He brought up Brock Lesnar, and now he's bringing up Goldberg. Apparently, Goldberg blocked him. Quite frankly, I thought that was more interesting than the actual match itself, the post comments from Riddle and getting some buzz. And I don't know if it's the best idea for him to be criticizing those guys, but hey, it's getting his name out there. What about Velveteen Dream defending Vince McMahon in the recent booking decisions? Interesting stuff from the NXT guys, and I got to say it's more entertaining than the actual stuff that we're getting there on television. Saudi Arabia, it is what it is. We got 8 more years of it, 9 more years, however long it is. Yeah, TJS, it's gonna be a long 9 years unless something happens. We have a war, and
Rich, you might know this. Do you think Vince can pull out of that contract? And I mean, yeah, he might lose the money, but
he better be making money from the XFL or something. Then he ain't pulling out of that contract unless he makes that money elsewhere.
Vince, he could go over there because of his tattoos. Sami Zayn can't go over there because he's from Syria or whatever.
Here's the thing about the Aleister Black thing. I don't buy that because he could just cover the tattoos up. He could just wear something over the tattoos. And how do they know that Sami Zayn's Syrian or whatever? It doesn't make any sense. I feel like they're just saying this so they don't have to go over there. And I don't think Vince is going to pull out of the contract because if he was going to do it, he would have done it last year with the journalist thing because that was as hot as it was. It's probably going to get without a war coming or something. So.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we're going to continue to get this, and they're going to go over there and they're going to mail these shows in. They're going to try to trick the Saudis like these are these big events, but the Westerners over here, we're going to see right through it.
Yeah. And we'll have to see like which stars are going to be next on the list of guys to main event the Saudi Arabia show. Like who will WWE be able to convince to come out of retirement next? Will it be Steve Austin? We're gonna get.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. I'm sure they want Andre the Giant too. So Aaron, you already alluded to this. Velveteen Dream on social media. Where was this on social media?
Yeah.
Defended Vince McMahon. Now, look. Characters play characters on social media, and they can pull the wool over people's eyes. Trust me, I know that. But this is interesting because several months ago, there were some tweets he put out, called me up to the main roster, this and that, and he kind of pulled them back. So I like these conspiracy things here. Do you think maybe, do you think Vince McMahon has seen Velveteen Dream, knows Shawn Michaels has produced him quite a bit recently, and sees potential in this guy? Is the next guy to hold a brass ring? Do you think maybe that he's talked with Dream and Dream is going to be the next, I don't know, potential face of the company where it needs one, right? WWE needs one. Do you think he could be a secret weapon for Vince when he really, really, truly needs it? Aaron, I'll start with you. For some crazy reason, I don't know why I'm thinking this. Everybody's so worried about NXT wrestlers going to the main roster and fizzling out. I think there's a plan in place with Dream. And if Triple H had to convince Vince, I think it's been done. And that's why it's been taking so long and he's still down there for some big plan. That's what I think. What do you think?
Well, he is young. Keep in mind that he is like
23 or 24.
Yeah, somewhere around there. He's got a lot of time to continue to develop, and there's no rush to bring him to the main roster and ruin him. I think timing is everything, and once the timing is right, he'll be on the main roster. And yeah, I think Vince is probably very high on the guy because he is more of a sports entertainment type of guy than some of those other NXT names. Velveteen Dream has that personality, and that's what I think will really help him in the long run. The fact that he has that character development and he just has the sports entertainment swag to him that some of the other guys don't have. So yeah, I think Velveteen Dream's personality and charisma will help him a lot in WWE. I think Vince will do everything to make him a star. Triple H will be supporting him, and yeah, I think he has a real shot at becoming a top guy in WWE.
Big G, I think he's a nuclear weapon, and Vince McMahon has his finger on the detonator switch. I mean, literally, as bad as the product has been, let's not even talk about Super Showdown, just Raw and SmackDown. They have to be doing this on purpose, Big G. We've said this before. There's no way people in this bubble that have produced good television in the past. Vince McMahon allowed the Attitude Era. Paul Heyman, all these people that are in his inner circle, even Bruce Pritchard to a point, have produced good TV. Now all of a sudden they're incompetent. And Vince Russo said this. He thinks they're probably sandbagging for Fox. So when they go to Fox just with minimal effort, now all of a sudden it looks like a good product. So I think they're sandbagging. I think Velveteen Dream's a secret nuclear weapon. What do you think?
I think so too. And like Aaron said, when the time is right, Vince will, say, boom, we need you for maybe like a major storyline or something like that. And, Velveteen Dream is a sports entertainment guy. He's got like Aaron said, the charisma. He's got everything. He's still very young. He can still learn, especially now that Shawn Michaels is down there. He can learn from Shawn Michaels, pick at Shawn Michaels' brain. What do I need to do when I go to the main roster? How can I keep people entertained on the main roster and so forth and so forth? You have all these people that they called up from NXT recently, like Aleister Black and Kairi Sane, and you haven't seen them in weeks. I mean, Aleister Black has been doing all these promos to have somebody come in and fight him. So, when...
Well, he opened the door this week, so maybe somebody heard him.
So when, when the time is right for Velveteen Dream to come up to the main roster, it'll make a bold statement. And that people won't forget that.
TJS.
Well, I mean, you guys saw Firefly Funhouse. We saw the sign that said, "Abandon all hope, ye who exit here." They need to put that on the NXT locker room, as far as I'm concerned, because the Viking Raiders got eliminated from the Battle Royal by Titus O'Neil.
Yeah.
Just let that sink in, man. It's so
Viking Raiders too. Yep, absolutely.
Terrible. It's awful, man. And I feel like, God, I really hope that they won't ruin Velveteen Dream, because if he ends up in AEW, I mean, I feel like Velveteen's not the kind of guy that's going to stick around and get made a fool of. I feel like if they try to make a joke out of him, he's going to leave.
See, I think it seems like everybody's expecting that. And what I'm saying is I don't. I think Vince McMahon, he's going to come to the main roster when he's ready, and everyone's going to be like, oh my God, he's in there with Seth Rollins or where. I think he's going to get pushed through the moon, and that's one reason why they're waiting so long. He's been ready. He's been ready for a year.
Right, I agree with you, Virtue. I think like he's going to get like the Shield push. When the Shield came in, those three guys were pushed really strong from the get-go, right out of the gate. Even AJ Styles was pushed very strongly right out of the gate. I think Velveteen Dream is going to get that big push, and they're not going to screw around with him.
So we will see. Let's move on to this, though. So, Aaron, where did you see these numbers that these 24/7 titles been getting the most attention? Is this the YouTube videos?
Yes.
Okay, so I have down here 24/7 title and Firefly Funhouse. Are those the only watchable parts on Raw where you kind of just want to see what happens? I mean, we've seen Airplane. I know some of this stuff's been on social media. The elevator scene, which, by the way, that with the 24/7 title, that reminded me of that M. Night Shyamalan movie, Devil. I don't know if you ever saw that, but anyway, especially EC3. You know, which one was the Devil? But anyway, 24/7 title and Firefly Funhouse. I'm not a big proponent of that title, right? It's goofy. Now, if they would have did the full-on hardcore crazy stuff, I probably would buy into it more. But I can't, it's been a little entertaining because you see, Jinder Mahal, R-Truth, they're getting some TV time. I really like the Firefly Funhouse. So, TJS, what's your thoughts? Are these the most watchable parts of Monday Night Raw?
Well, I saw...
Whether it's good or bad, I'm just asking.
Yeah, I saw a kayfabe news article headline that said, Firefly Funhouse to be accompanied by 2 hours and 55 minutes of other stuff this week. And that's what it feels like. But first we'll talk about the 24/7 title. I really liked it because I've talked about this before. I enjoy the outside factor of this, how it makes the characters, it makes the wrestlers feel like human beings and that they interact with people outside of the arena or whatever. Like the sleeping on the airplane, I thought that was awesome. I love the roll up on the tarmac, the golf course. It's all super entertaining for me, and it helps. It gives you a reason to tune into the social media accounts of WWE instead of just going there to watch highlights of Raw and SmackDown. Yeah. This feels more like a social media title to me than anything else, but whatever, I'm fine with it because it's just something different. It's obviously a ploy for ratings, but I still like it. And yeah, it's a comedy title. We don't see any big names going for this, and boy, Cedric Alexander's going for this, so much for his 205 Live run. Anyway, I really like what's going on, but I'm worried that if anybody else holds this title besides Truth, it won't be as funny because R-Truth is hilarious. Yeah. I've always loved that. Now, as for the Firefly Funhouse, man, awesome stuff. Every single week, I'm very entertained by it. And with the Rambling Rabbit thing this time, awesome. You heard him. Rambling Rabbit said he was going to reveal what's really going on in the Funhouse, and then Bray grabbed him, smashed him with the hammer. Thought it was really awesome, and it's getting progressively darker. And I like that they're not rushing this. They're giving it time to build up. I'm not tired of this. I know some people are saying burnt out. I'm not. As far as I'm concerned, I'd be perfectly fine with Bray doing this the rest of his career and just not wrestling.
Does anyone know if Bray's doing house shows, like to stay in shape or tuned up?
Not that I know of. Wow. Are they still doing house shows?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I saw the results from last night was a SmackDown show, but I didn't see any Bray Wyatt on there. Anyway, awesome stuff though. Please keep doing it, WWE. You're doing something right, Aaron.
Well, did you guys see the picture of Tom Savini with Bray Wyatt with all the masks in the background?
Yes.
Look, Aaron, he needs to, he should be in Hollywood. He should be in horror movies. He's talented. I don't know what you need to be an actor, but apparently a bunch of wrestlers can become actors. Would you agree with me on that?
Well, I think he's doing some great stuff, and I love the fact that he's collaborating with people like Tom Savini and some brilliant minds to help create ideas for this, and it's just totally outside the box from everything else that we're seeing right now in WWE. And the 24/7 title, yeah, I think R-Truth deserves a lot of credit for making this work. He's just putting out some of the best stuff of his career. He's just consistently been very entertaining. R-Truth is really shining in this role, and the numbers show that people are entertained by him and they're tuning in. People that might have given up on WWE, they're still watching R-Truth. And how crazy is that in 2019 that R-Truth is perhaps the biggest star in WWE when you look at his YouTube numbers compared to the rest of the Raw viewership. I mean, it's crazy. I think R-Truth is the star of the brand right now, and Jinder Mahal's in some of the most viewed segments. I mean, to me,
And
that's
they're not
enough.
wrestling. They are not. It's strictly entertainment,
Totally.
right? To all those wrestling fans out there, indie wrestling fans, 30-minute match, 5-star match fans. Aaron just gave you some numbers for entertainment that really has nothing to do with wrestling. It still sells. Big G, what do you think?
Well, I'm enjoying both the 24/7 title. It's entertainment, and I'm enjoying the Firefly Funhouse. It's progressing each week. Bray's getting darker and darker and darker. So I'm on WWE's YouTube page right now, and the segment with R-Truth pinning Jinder Mahal on the airplane has 8.4 million views, and the one from yesterday in the elevator, which was only 22 hours ago, already has 2.2 million views.
Wow.
So and then the one where Truth loses it on the tarmac, he has 2.8 million views. So, like you said, TJS, WWE is doing something right with this.
What have the Firefly Funhouse has been getting on YouTube?
The one from yesterday only had like 512,000 views, if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, they're getting high views too, but I think people are enjoying.
What about that one with the Vince McMahon devil from a week ago that they didn't show again on SmackDown, which I thought was strange.
Yeah, look at that.
This week they showed it on Smack. The one on Raw they showed it on SmackDown.
The one with the Muscle Man dance. I thought that was entertaining.
That has to be a couple million. I'm just curious.
Yes, let me.
Come on, dead air out there. Come on, Big G.
My numbers. Yeah. I'm looking for it.
And again, the only reason why I want to, I'm asking this is because it's
that
entertainment.
The one with Vince only has 1 million views.
Okay, but it's a vignette.
Yeah.
Right? It's a vignette.
So, like I said, I'm enjoying everything personally. You have your wrestling still on there, but you're also getting your sports entertainment. And like Aaron said, I think R-Truth is pretty much the biggest star of 2019, with Jinder Mahal being the supporting actor in all of this.
I'm allergic.
Aaron will have to put cats in the description of this video now, because we all know that draws on YouTube.
I can feel my eyes swelling, Aaron. I'm allergic to cats.
Wow.
Well,
so speaking of things that people are enjoying, right? If some of you are enjoying the 24/7, some of us are enjoying Firefly Funhouse. How about Shane McMahon? Like, there always has to be someone in the family just constantly pushed for big, long segments, beating multiple talents and wrestlers. And I know, people probably don't care about him beating Reigns necessarily. But if you listen to SmackDown, it seems like they did. So I wrote down here Shane McMahon's recent push, a troll on the fans like the McMahons love to do. Or is it something that will pay off in the end, and how? Now, right now, I can't see how it's going to pay off because Roman beats Shane at some point, and people want to end up hating Roman down the road. So I don't even know how this can work. Aaron, I'm going to start with you. Just too much Shane McMahon. What do you think?
Yeah, I would say so. I'm just tired of it. And Shane beating Miz again. Poor Miz is 0-3 against the best in the world now. I feel so bad for Miz.
I missed that. How did he tap out? Wasn't he out unconscious?
Triangle.
He just barely tapped out with the triangle.
Yeah.
And what did he call it? He called it the McMahon hook or something like that.
I'm just shaking my head at the whole thing. And Shane McMahon, I mean, it's entertaining, the best in the world thing, but I mean, does he really need to be on both shows now? I mean, it feels like he's just dominating the TV time, and I don't understand why when you have so many guys that are getting lost in the shuffle.
Because the last name's McMahon, and it's getting said on television constantly. McMahon.
Yeah, I feel like Vince must be a huge fan of this Greg Hamilton introduction, and that's why it's being done to death. Vince must think it's good shit, pal, and that's why we're seeing it on TV every single week. And they're just going to run it into the ground, which sucks for the other guys on the roster, but it's Vince's show, so he can do what he wants.
All right, TJS, you got to have some zingers about this whole thing here. And I've even been a proponent thinking, man, I don't even like seeing Roman in this. You know what I mean? I'd rather have Roman stay out. Why couldn't Roman come back and not wrestle for months like Bray and have like the Firefly Fun Houses? You know, I wish Roman was still out and he became a character on that Firefly Fun House.
Yeah,
Because I just don't like this right now. It's just like, you know what I mean? They brought him back just to bring him back.
that would be something.
And here's Shane.
Yeah. So first of all, Greg Hamilton is one of the best ring announcers ever. I think he's really good, but I don't know what you guys mean. I think Vince McMahon sees big money in this young blue chipper kid, Shane O'Mac. This guy's an upstart. He just got called up, and I think he's doing a damn fine job.
Let me ask you this, TJS. Does Vince see Shane as how he was in 97, 98, and he's looking at Roman like stone cold? Do you think Vince is seeing that right now? Obviously, the audience isn't.
I'm waiting for the cage match where they're both going to fall off the cage through the announce table at the next pay-per-view. Yeah, it actually makes sense to me that Vince would do that. He's living vicariously through Shane. And I guess the one thing that I'll give WWE credit for is that they're being consistent with this best of the world thing. They're really hammering it home. It's such good shit. It's so well written. It's what makes Shane Shane. Like, oh God. I don't know. I don't know, man. I guess Shane's just gonna keep wrestling. Even though he's terribly gassed after each match.
Well, he's gassed after his entrance. You ever see how breathy he is when he cuts a promo?
Yes.
Just from doing his little skip, he gets, yeah. It's so noticeable to me.
Yeah, and it just sucks for McIntyre, the Revival, and Elias because they're just Shane's lackeys. It's like Aaron said. Why couldn't Shane just manage McIntyre and then Shane occasionally interfere and it cost Roman the match? Why does Roman have to lose to Shane?
Yeah, I would have been okay, good point. So if Drew fought Roman at Super Showdown and Shane was the one that interfered and Drew beat Roman, I could see substance out of this. You're building Drew. But they don't.
I think we're going to see Shane versus Roman at SummerSlam, guys, honestly. That's what I'm seeing right now. Probably in a gimmick match, like Hell in a Cell or something. I don't know.
TJS, good points. I thought you would really, really lambast Shane a little harder there, but that's all right. You'll have your opportunity with some other topics here. Big G.
Yes.
What do you think, man?
Well,
Shane McMahon fight, Mark?
Nah, I mean, I'm enjoying it to a point, Yeah, I think they're trolling the whole best in the world thing with, based off CM Punk. And, I think what they're doing is they are, phasing out Vince McMahon and, putting Shane in Vince's spot like he was in 97 or 98. And I think eventually down the road, somehow, some way, Shane is going to end up being 60 years old and he'll be a WWE champion for a couple of days and then lose it.
I just thought maybe you'd like Shane because part of his name's in Shayna. Shayna.
No.
What?
Yeah, but I don't know, they've been using Shane a lot, but we haven't seen Stephanie lately, which I mean is good.
Oh, you jinxed it. You jinxed it.
Probably did. I think, like I said, I think they're just phasing Vince out. He'll show up every once in a while, and we'll see where Shane is in the next 5 to 10 years.
All right. Let's talk. I didn't put this down. Let's talk about Brock. He has not cashed this in yet. Do you think he goes away for a while now? Just what's your quick takes on Brock? Did they use him for 3-4 weeks straight? Now he just disappears. So when he does come back, like he said, Paul Heyman said, it'll be when you least expect it.
Yeah.
Big G, I'll start with you. Coincidentally, Brock has made older Undertaker look good in matches, and for the most part, Goldberg. So that says a lot. Even when you're old sandbags, Brock Lesnar is still the real deal because other than quick, short matches, Brock doesn't really have stinkers. People could say his match versus Roman at WrestleMania 34 was a stinker, but, I mean, it was still intense. Right? So what do you think with Brock here in his briefcase?
I think they used him for a month. That way people will stop complaining and you know, now that he'll be gone for a while, and then he'll show up at SummerSlam and cash in at SummerSlam against Seth Rollins or whoever he wants to cash in at that time. Heck,
he'll be gone for a while now.
Shane. If Shane's champion at SummerSlam, he can cash in on Shane.
I don't know how that would happen, but TJS, what do you think? I mean, are we literally not going to see him until maybe SummerSlam?
Well, probably. I think that Brock has been entertaining as hell at this Money in the Bank thing, and not just like comedy-wise either. I think that he's been doing some good work with the sell jobs. And Virtue, you've been saying it, man. Like, Brock can really sell. He can look like he's taking an ass beating. I feel like Brock told Seth, like, yeah, hit me as hard as you can with the chair, man, because that's what Ronda did with Becky in that crunch apparently a few months back. And I mean, Brock's not a wimp. I mean, if he wants to get hit, he's gonna get hit. And you saw like the giant knot on his elbow. He was bruising really bad. So yeah, I imagine that Brock's not gonna show up for a little bit, and he does have good matches. I mean, I'm usually really looking forward to his matches. The triple threat match with Cena and Rollins at Royal Rumble versus Balor versus Styles versus Bryan. This guy always has matches.
He can work with like anybody, any style, and even the old sandbags or the younger, but the more agile, because AJ's not young, but yeah, the agile type people.
And I like shorter matches because I like quicker pace matches. Like the Goldberg Lesnar match was really good to me. Like at WrestleMania, that was good, man. Like, and the only problem that he has is like working against the bigger guys, maybe like Strowman, and that's because that was just a botched push, man. I don't know, but yeah, he puts on some good stuff. I don't understand the hate. As long as he's not a champion, I'm completely cool with him being part-time. Aaron?
Well, I mean, I feel like we've seen pretty much everything there is to see from Brock, although I will say I was pleasantly surprised by the beatbox Brock, and we did get some memes out of that. That was a lot of fun. So every now and then Brock Lesnar can pull something funny out of his ass. Actually, I did enjoy him slapping Paul Heyman around with the contract. So Brock's done some fun stuff. But I'd rather see him like eventually turn babyface and maybe split from Paul Heyman just to change things up. But I feel like I've been saying that for years now, and it's never going to happen.
He talked on it too. Like he's not a bad talker, really.
No.
Yeah, that one UFC fight that he had the first time he won, that was a great promo.
Wait a minute, was that the one where he said that he was gonna go on top of Sable?
Whatever it was after the match and he was in the octagon. It was intense. It's on YouTube. So Brock can talk, but when he's scripted, it's not very good. But.
Yeah, I mean, there's still possibilities for Brock. There's still matches you can do with him, but I mean, I feel like we need some fresh blood, and they need to stop relying on the old timers. They're just relying on.
But again, Brock is not until he's looking bad like Undertaker or Goldberg. You can't say he's an old timer, and he still can bring it. Now, what needs to happen is somebody like a Matt Riddle comes up one day and they let him get the Brock rub, and he beats Brock on the big stage. What happened to that? What happened to the Hogans beating the Andres? The Rocks beating the Hogans? What happened to that?
Yeah.
We need something like that. Yeah.
Like the meme I made when Brock was listening to Matt Riddle's theme song.
Well, Matt Riddle wants to retire Brock, and I mean, both those guys are an ass kicker. They're both ass kickers, so I'd love to see.
They could make it look so real too, and actually they could be a stiff match, and neither one of them would care.
Do you think they would bring back the Lions Den match between those two and make it kind of like a UFC fight?
They could. They bring back everything they've done before, so why not? And those two, it would work. I think it would. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, you could get some of those UFC fans over that I don't really think came over for Ronda. I really don't. But anyways, guess what? We're going to close the show with a couple of AEW guys. Actually, wait, AEW and still New Japan guys? Imagine that, people. Imagine a professional wrestler who's an independent contractor being signed with one company, but if they choose to work somewhere else, they're allowed. That is crazy. So first we'll talk about Jon Moxley. He beat Juice Robinson, who cut his dreads off, and Dean Moxley. Yeah. How about How about Jon Moxley? He's the new IWGP United States champion. I believe Kenny Omega held that title.
Yeah.
Switchblade. So, Big G, I'm going to start with you, man. He's already winning titles in Japan.
Wow.
And he's like
So,
one of the big focuses of AEW. What do you think about that?
first of all, a WWE guy beat a former NXT guy in a different promotion for a title. Holy crap. Good for Moxley. He's getting the push right out of the gun, right out of the barrel. And, he's in New Japan, AEW. He'll be at Fyter Fest for their next pay-per-view. And
he's doing indies still, too.
Yeah,
he's booked all summer.
I wouldn't be surprised if he comes to MCW one time, down in Maryland. That'd be pretty cool. I'm happy for Moxley. He's doing what he wants to do, being who he wants to be. I'm liking the little shorts now instead of,
You are?
Yeah.
See, that sounded crazy.
So
that means it's like Matt Riddle shorts too, then.
Yeah.
Aaron, do not edit that out. We got Big G twice there, liking dude's little shorts.
Harry like short.
I like the ring. Okay, the ring gear. The ring gear, not the shorts, but the ring gear. They're not shorts. It's ring gear. All right. And for everybody out there, I'm straight. I have a girlfriend, so that.
Why does it matter if you weren't? Why would it matter?
Oh.
Anyways.
Why do you have to say that? I mean,
wow.
If you are, you are. If you're not, you're not. People are people.
All right. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. TGS.
Oh man. Well, it's crazy to see. I mean, I watched the Moxley versus Juice match. Did you guys see it?
It was good.
It was, man. It was really good. I think that they are making a big deal out of Moxley, and he's coming out of the crowd, which is interesting because that's what Reigns used to do. And I get the Shield did it, but for Moxley to do it, as a singles competitor, it's interesting because I feel like those indie promotions probably don't have as good a security as WWE does. But I mean, whatever. Yeah, it's a great. I don't think we've talked since the Moxley podcast, have we? So
no.
we haven't talked about how those promos that he did took like a minute for all three of them. And yeah, I'm happy for Moxley. I feel like he's doing good stuff. And by the way, Fyter Fest is going to be free, which is a great thing in my opinion because they're building a fan base and they don't want to charge you $60 for a show. And Tony Khan even said, he's like, yeah, we're not going to have these $60 shows every month. I think he said they're going to have the big 4-hour shows like every 3 months. So that's good. I feel like they're doing the right thing there. And Moxley, he's using the middle finger now on Juice Robinson. He flipped him off and everything. I am disappointed that he's still using the dirty deeds, the butterfly deeds. I wish he had something different.
He should go back to the original form where it was the front face lock into the spike. Because a lot of the guys he's going to work with now can do that spike,
Yeah, and it's like Moxley said, they're going to be on TNT, and he feels like he's going to bring eyeballs to that product, and I feel like he will. Because he cited this example. He said people are going to be flipping through the channels. They'll go past TNT and like, oh, that's the guy from the Shield. Well, what's going on here? So good stuff. I'm really glad that Mox is getting his just due.
He wants to be entered into the G1 tournament too. So.
Yep. And that's the thing too. This guy is working a lot, despite not wanting the money. Really, he's just wanting to work, and I feel like that's great. I'm glad that Moxley is getting to do what I feel like CM Punk wanted to do earlier. And Moxley's still young. He's only 32, which is crazy to me. So this guy has plenty of time to do what he wants, and he's already got it made. He's got enough money. He said that he doesn't really want that. So good for him, man. I feel like he's going to be a huge star in the Indies. So I can't wait to see him versus Omega. Probably going to happen in All Out. Anyway, Aaron, what do you think, man?
Now, Aaron, keep in mind, Moxley put over more or less Roman Reigns and said that guy needs the handcuffs and the duct tape removed from him by Vince McMahon. That's what I got out of all of Moxley's podcasts. He said Roman's talented, which is what I've been saying all along, if Roman can be presented the right way.
Well, I'm sure that Roman's not the only guy that I think would really benefit from having the handcuffs off. And I'm really hoping this is going to be a new era of creativity, because Jon Moxley seems like he's very motivated to go out there and be creative and be an artist and put art first and money second, which is the opposite of what WWE is doing right now. And that's what we need for wrestling to really reach that next boom period. We need the guys to have the ability to artistically think outside the box, try different things, because we're not going to have that new revolution until you actually try some different things. As long as it's just, towing the line and doing the same thing that's been done for years, nothing's ever going to change. You need something new, and you don't know what that new thing is until you experiment and try different things. Moxley's doing it. He's going out there. He's doing his thing. He's just going with his gut instinct and just going with his experience. And that's what a lot of these guys, I think, could really bring to the table. There's so many talented guys that have a lot of good ideas. And you got to wonder, like, how many other people besides Moxley have been trying to get ideas to Vince, and Vince is like, nope, no good. That's not good shit. And then finally Vince has an idea that has something to do with poop or bodily fluids, and he's like, yeah, that's good shit, pal. And that's what gets on TV. But yeah, there's so many guys in WWE. And look at Bray Wyatt. Like, he's doing some great stuff. And you have to wonder how many other guys are there that just really want to go out there and do something different, and they just don't have the opportunity. AEW could possibly change that once some of these contracts come up. Everyone's going to make more money, and some guys that want the creative freedom, they're going to have the opportunity to do so in AEW. Hopefully AEW doesn't turn out
Do you think
like TNA.
Do you think Mike Bennett and Maria are going to jump to AEW once their contract comes up?
I mean, I think that's pretty much. I mean, I can't.
Ring of Honor. I don't know. I could see them go back to Ring of Honor, but
I can't speak for them. But I think there's a decent chance. I think there's quite a few guys that could benefit from going to AEW.
I wanted to bring something up really quick about Moxley saying that he didn't want to just go and read scripts or whatever. He said, "I'm not an actor, man. I'm a wrestler. So if you want to pay somebody to just read your script, go find go hire an actor."
Back in the day, TJS, it was bullet points. You know what I mean? Austin pretty much and The Rock, they did all their own promos. They just were given ideas of what to present. They didn't have to read verbatim.
Yeah.
Right.
And exactly, and that's what Moxley said. He said, like, in the Shield interview, he was like, the first Shield interview, he was like, "Oh, I can't wait. This is going to be so fun." And then they're like, "All right, here's the script." And he said he didn't even know that it was a script. He's like, "Oh, I thought that was just suggested." Like, no, you read this verbatim. And that's what Vince said. He's like, he needs to read the script verbatim and not try to rewrite it. And that just sounds like such a toxic work environment, man. I just can't imagine it.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a career renaissance for Jericho too since he left WWE.
Nice segue.
Yeah.
They're being micromanaged. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Main event time. Good segue, TJS. All right, so I wanted Jericho to win the IWGP Heavyweight title. I thought that would have been cool, especially holding that going into facing Hangman Page for the AEW title. But I get why they didn't, And it's better that he didn't, because he lost to Okada at Dominion with a roll-up or whatever that, pin was. Then after the match in Japan, especially a hero like Okada, the champion's always supposed to get the flowers, have the microphone, and do that promo so all of those Japanese people can sit there and clap before they go home, because that's what they do there. And they did a heat angle after the match, and Jericho beat down Okada. Of course, then Tanahashi, the other hero of Japan, comes out, and that's going to probably be the next match for Jericho. Finally, we have a legit heel. He's saying he's going to boycott Fyter Fest or whatever it's called because it's free. And, that'll piss fans off because they want to go see Chris Jericho but don't show up to wrestle. Finally, he's doing what he has to do to get heat. Jericho is gold, almost 50 years old. I want to know everybody's thoughts because I think this was great. I think him actually not winning that title because of everything that happened afterwards made it even better than it could have been. Because if he won the title, he would have powdered and left. He wouldn't have done a beatdown. So, Aaron, what's your thoughts? I mean, I don't know if you watched that or saw the clip on YouTube. I'm sure you heard it. What happened over, I think, Sunday or Saturday. What do you think, man? Y2J at his best.
Well, I haven't really seen much of it, but I know that he's just doing his thing, and he's not being handcuffed. He's a very creative guy. I feel like we're talking about him every other week. You always want to get Jericho in on these main events. I mean, he's amazing. He's one of the best ever, and I really don't have that much more to say about it. I just feel like he's a good guy to have there in AEW, and he is doing an amazing job. What was the thing he said on Twitter? It's like something like F your ass or something to some fan. There's some tweet that he responded to.
He's swearing on Twitter. I do the same thing, right? Jericho's one of my role models, mentors or whatever. Met him a couple times, but I can't be that way because my name's not Chris Jericho and I'm not a worker. But yet Chris Jericho's pulling it off nicely, calling fans marks. Yeah. So if anybody's specific people are enjoying Chris Jericho's current run, and you hate me but love Jericho, think about that really hard. The gist of having Jericho in this spot again, Aaron, I think you kind of blew past it, is finally we got a legitimate heel. Not just about. That's really what this is about. I love a wrestler going out of their way to make people hate them, like to just make fans so angry, like maybe they would unfollow them on Twitter. I think that's gold. Big G, what do you think? When you get people to unfollow you and you're trying to be a heel, it's working, right?
Absolutely. He's working these marks to unfollow them on Twitter and to block him on Twitter. But like I said before, Jericho is evolving his character. You know, he started off as the Lionheart back in Japan and in Mexico, and now here he is, in 2019 back in Japan, being the best heel that there is in professional wrestling, whether it be WWE, AEW.
With another finishing move, right? Trying to make it, even though it's kind of lame, but he's trying to make it cool.
A finisher move after one of his songs. He uses Judas as his entrance song. So,
except in Japan, I guess they edited it. In Japan, it was something different. I don't know why that happened.
AEW is just here in the States. It'll be Judas. Yeah, I'm trying to think.
He's awesome. Yeah, I mean, he's Chris Jericho, and he's probably, just when you don't think he could do anything better in his career, he finds a way to do it. Now, TJS. Did you have something else?
Yeah. Now, remember, he said he was pulled out of Fyter Fest because it's free. Watch him show up and attack somebody after one of their matches or something like that, and that way he can, you know what? It may be free, but I'm coming out here and beating somebody's butt.
I don't think you should show up. I think you should seriously not be there, or just appear on the front or something and be like, I told you I'm not going. Like, if I'm not, I'm not going to participate in a free event like this. And then he could call the fans peasants or something. This guy is on fire. In Japan, he beats up the young boys. He takes the camera, flips it off. And they're protecting Jericho too, because he didn't lose clean to Okada, really. He lost with a roll-up. So I think that's just awesome. And he sent the cardboard cutout to StarCast. I can't get enough of Jericho.
He better get top 5 on the PWI 500. So whoever does that, Apter, Meltzer, if you have influence, actually he should be number 1 the past 12 months. With everything he's done, and he's the face, even though he's a heel, he's the face of this new company, and he's trying to get fans to hate him. So who he works with gets over as adored baby faces. That's how wrestling's supposed to be.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's just so awesome, and I love everything that he's doing. I can't believe at almost 50, this guy's still more entertaining, and he looks great too. He's in great shape.
Well, he's got the the aging rock star body, and that's the brilliance of it. I heard him on a podcast, one of his podcasts. It might have been Busted Open Radio, Big G.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I've gained about 10, 15 pounds drinking and stuff, not doing as much exercise or lifting as I used to do. But he's like, going over to Japan as the Westerner, he's like, Vince McMahon didn't let me wear makeup. I can wear makeup as part of my gimmick in Japan. He's literally, it's like a method actor. You know how certain actors eat to get bigger or skinnier for roles? It's like he did this for this role.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. I'm a mark for one Christopher Irvin. There you go. That's all I got this week. Anything else anybody wants to bring up?
No. I think we covered pretty much everything.
Your plugs. Big G, you can start.
NoDQ.com/Big G is my Twitter account. NoDQ_Big G on Instagram. Jeff Hiltz on Facebook. NoDQ.com/shirts. Everybody's got shirts. That's it for Big G. TJS, take it away.
NoDQ.com/TJS. Take you to my Facebook page. Add me there at NoDQ_TJS. That's my Twitter. PlayStation Network. Tyler Joseph Smith. And fellas, this review's cheered me up a little bit. I hated Raw and SmackDown, but it's always good talking to you guys. So good stuff.
Well, and Moxley and Jericho, right? They're the hottest wrestlers in the business right now, right?
Absolutely.
Yep, good stuff.
Aaron Rift.
Well, TGS, I'm sure at least you liked the part with EC3 getting some TV time, you know?
Did he crack a little smile, supposedly, in that elevator?
Okay.
Someone said he
Hey,
did.
his boys, the Revival, won the tag team titles again.
Oh, yeah. Hey, that was the best part of Raw besides the Firefly Funhouse, but I feel like they're just going to lose them at the next show on the kickoff.
Yeah, well, we'll get to see Usos and Revival again, probably. Speaking of kickoffs, you know, next week we got predictions for the Stomping Grounds pay-per-view. Kicking ass and taking names is the motto of the show, so there you go.
So next week we got to do another preview show to replace the review. Okay.
But after that, I think we got like a good 4 or 5 weeks before pay-per-view, so we'll get some more NoDQ reviews in the can. Yeah. All right, guys. So, yeah, stay tuned to NoDQ.com, and got some more videos coming up this week. Got some more top fives, and make sure you follow everybody. Buy a shirt, NoDQ.com/shirts, and that's all I got. Virtue, let's wrap it up.
Follow me on Twitter at NoDQ_Virtue. And no matter how hard I try to piss people off, my net followers still are positive. I have this little app that tells me who unfollows me, so if I follow them, I can unfollow them. And you get the full-on heel Virtue, and yet people are still following me to hear what I have to say, so I appreciate it. Thank you. That's that. No more being nice. Go on my Facebook, NoDQ.com/Virtue. That's all I got. For TJS, for Big G, and the NoDQ review shirt like me, and for Aaron Rift, I'm Virtue. See you next time.